Back we are taking a look at the electronic newsletter for the Organic Consumers Association with our friend there, and I guess a reporter is one of the many hats that she wears, and that, of course, is Alexis Baden-Mayer. Hey, Alexis, how are you?
Hey, Dr. Steve. Doing great. Thanks for having me again.
Always my pleasure. You got great information. Let's this week kind of carry a theme, and we're going to talk largely about our food. And we begin with story one, the story about biotech crops causing a huge jump in pesticide use. Would you explain?
Well, when these crops came on the market, the promise was that because they were genetically engineered to withstand massive doses of certain pesticides and herbicides, they would be able to reduce overall herbicide use. Now, I'm not sure we believed that when they said it, but we now have proof. There is a report released by the Organic Center, the Union of Concerned Scientists, and the Center for Food Safety. They have done a survey, and they have showed that herbicide use grew by 383 million pounds from 1996 to 2008.
Wow.
And 46% of that total increase occurred just between 2007 and 2008. It started increasing right after the crops were introduced because obviously if Monsanto sells you the seed that's genetically engineered to withstand Roundup, you start planting that, then you have to buy the Roundup from them. And as, these genetically engineered seeds became more dominant, of course, more Roundup was used. But the interesting thing for scientists looking at herbicide use is that the herbicide use is increasing the longer these crops are in the environment. And, of course, that's entirely predictable because, of course, we are going to get super weeds that once they've been exposed to enough Roundup, they figure out a way to withstand Roundup as well. It only goes to show that the massive application of pesticides, as we were just talking about with the Roundup-ready Monsanto genetically modified crops, this type of thing is not sustainable. And these traditional methods that have been sustaining people for millennia are actually what work. And just a few facts that go towards this end. Most people, I guess, most Americans, at least I did, I thought, well, we have the best agricultural technology in the world, and it produces so much food we have to give it away. The feeling is we must produce all the food in the world. But the fact is that it is the small farmers who produce the majority of the world's food. There are 1.5 billion small farmers on the planet today who are producing 75% of the food that we eat. And that just completely turns upside down this idea that we need this technology to save the world and to feed people. And the small farmers, the ones who are producing most of the food for most of the people on the planet, they're the ones who have been pushed off of the best land, who have been denied access to water, and who over time, little by little, they've been sucked into this capitalist scheme to make them dependent on very expensive inputs. The pesticide use, although pesticide use grows and grows every year since pesticides first came onto the market in the 1940s after World War II, the amount of crop lost to pests each year is exactly the same as when pesticides first came on the market. So it's more advantageous to us not to douse ourselves and our water supply with all of these toxic chemicals. So thank goodness we know now that we don't have to. Now we just need the political will to make the change.
It's kind of interesting. As I'm listening to this, I'm going, okay, small farmers grow most of the food. I know that small business creates most of the jobs. Mm-hmm. There's kind of a trend developing, huh? Smaller may be a whole lot better for us for a whole bunch of reasons.
That's right, absolutely.
Okay, we go to the final story this week, and it's back to bees. I guess there is a push to having, more people become organic beekeepers, or what's the deal?
It's desperately needed in the face of colony collapse disorder, which is so widespread throughout the United States and Europe because of the use of toxic pesticides like imidacloprid. We desperately need to revive the population of bees, and the only way we're going to be able to do it is with organically kept bees, and bees that are within organic systems and have enough range, as I suppose you could say, or pasture, whatever that is for bees, enough flowers and vegetables to pollinate and be amongst that aren't contaminated by the toxic pesticides. We desperately need to revitalize our bee population, and the only way to do it is in the pesticide-free organic methods.
Yeah, and it's vital, because without them, food system just could even collapse for that matter. So very important stuff. And you kind of got the idea, the trend of thinking here. It's a very important discussion we've had today with Alexis Baden-Mayer from Organic Consumers Association. Alexis, thank you very much for spending time and for enlightening us. We will get together again next week.
Thanks, Dr. Steve. Can't wait.